All right,
Hey,
hello guys. This is CVH and Preston from Denver Kaijudo, and I'm doing the interview thing. so
what?
CVH and I played a couple games last night, and
A lot of games.
yeah, and today I gave him a test out run for what 4 decks now.
Yeah, I was just playing against, like, 'cause I usually play against the usual stuff against, everyone else on my team, so you're playing different things, and it was fun. I played your Mono Dark, I played your Water Light, I played, was it Firelight?
Yes, it was Firelight,
Okay, yeah, I played against all those last night.
and then today we played against a fire.
Today I played against Firewater. I won the first game pretty easily because my hand wasn't garbage. My hand was absolutely trash game two, like, I saw a logo scan on turn 5, and that was the lowest mana cost of anything I drew. So I lost that very handily. And game 3, I made a crucial misplay, and I lost. But it was kind of close, I guess.
It
Yeah.
was close. It had me biting my nails for a little bit. You kept on dropping that Frogzuka. I didn't get
Yeah.
removal for him.
I would have liked to see a revive, but Frogzuka just kept on getting bounced, so it happens.
Yeah.
Good. We need to do a salty run back, but
But besides that battle, CVH did whoop all my other decks butts. So that's all good. So let's start out with the normal questions, CVH. What's your
I,
favorite civilization?
probably gonna say water.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
Well, my favorite card was Kirill back in Duel Masters, and I started playing Mono Water, and then switched to Water Dark Control, and I always, it's the centerpiece for all control decks, and I always like to play control. So, I like the feeling of having more options, and the consistency water adds is just why I like playing it, I guess. So,
For
yeah.
sure, man. Like everybody, I'm pretty sure everybody understands the consistency of water right now, especially in our current format. You could basically just run 2 colors and you add in water, and it just makes it so much more consistent right now.
Yeah, like if you're not running Rush, there's no reason not to run water yet. Like there might be a reason later, like maybe for like if you can run mono yellow, mono light, rally the reserves when base set comes out.
Yeah,
But like, hate it or love it, water is like the centerpiece right now.
it is. It's amazing. It doesn't have finishers, but it's still doing good.
That's why you add it in.
Yeah. And what's your favorite card right now, and why?
That's a really tough one, actually. um, I like the usual stuff like Terrapin just because like those are my favorite cards to like see and use because they're really good. I guess my favorite card is Reef Prince Glurgle's really cool right now.
Yes, he is.
It's super cool. Logo Scan is my favorite card to draw in opening hand. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's my favorite card, but it always makes the hand not suck. Like if I have a Logos, I'm like, okay, it'll be fine. Things will work out for me.
For sure. We
Yeah.
all understand that feeling. So we all know you're running the current deck type of fire, water, darkness. Are you planning on keeping that for base set? Do you think?
I'm gonna test it because
Yeah.
it's just one of the more consistent versions of Control. But I really want to branch off because I never actually liked Water Dark Fire in Duel Masters, even though it was super consistent. Because I found it boring. Like even with Merfolk and all that, I was like, I'm kind of bored of this. And like I like more toolboxy sort of decks with Keeper of Dawn and just like interesting random things that can adapt more. Not that this deck can, like it's super consistent, but it's just
Yes.
I'm gonna test it because there's some cool new cards and new finishers. But overall, I'm probably gonna do like Water Dark Light, Water Dark Firelight, something like that.
For sure.
Yep.
So on my video, that I just put up with me being interviewed slash me interviewing the girl, they they talked about magic terms being brought into Duel Masters. One of the magic terms that they were talking about was Jimmy, Spike, and Johnny. For anybody that doesn't know what these terms mean, I was
Like
told them in the car while I was driving these peeps. Um, the these 3 terms are made for different types of players, so it kind of helps you adjust to their type of play style when you play
I
them.
don't know what these terms are, so you got to describe
Yeah,
them.
that's what I'm gonna do. So the first term is Timmy. Timmy plays for fun. He doesn't care if he wins or loses. Basically, his deck is made for him to have fun and keep the game going.
Mhm.
Johnny is he builds decks. He builds different decks for strategy and everything, and he wants that strategy to work. I mean, he enjoys winning, but at the same time, Johnny would love to have a deck that had a strategy just work out. If that strategy worked out the way he wanted it, he'd be just as happy as winning. And then there's Spike. This person consistently wants to win. They will push. They will say they're better than people, and they that's what they push for. Is they want to be win. They want to be the champion. So, in saying all that, what do you feel you are?
Uh, well, like part of me doesn't want to say Spike because he sounds like a dick, but even his name, like, I don't want to be called Spike.
Yeah.
Um, I like the idea of like the Johnny player,
Yeah.
Jonathan.
John.
But yeah, like, because I love like I don't like I said like I don't like the boring controllers. I like to do like more interesting things, but at the same time, I'm not going to say some works when it doesn't. Like if it consistently loses against all the other boring top decks, then
Yeah.
you can't really say it's working out. Like that's how I base it. Like, but there's a ton of strategies and things you can add into control to make it like super unique and it'll still work. So I guess I'm kind of like that player. Like I'll always be looking for the next hottest thing,
Yeah.
but it's got to work. So and
So
I do play to win.
he's
I think like the fun part for me is just I told you I think yesterday on Skype because we should have just recorded that conversation.
yeah, we
But
should have.
but yeah, like to me the fun part is always thinking of like new innovative ways to create the top tier decks. So like part of it is playing the top tier deck and winning with it, and part of it is the creation of it and like figuring out how to play it versus other people and the play style and just what to do is just it's fun to me. So yeah, I guess I play to win, but that's fun, you know. So
Yeah. So
yeah. Like
you're
even when I'm playing a fun game, I play as if I was at a major event just for like the mental state of how I would do, you know?
yeah, the mental challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you like playing your wits against things. So you're like a Spike with a splash of Johnny in you.
I
That's
guess.
all good. So
Yeah, you know, it's the Earth Power channel. Like we have to have new content for people, so we have to keep making new things. Like we're not going to be super
yeah.
boring,
You never know. I mean, you got
even though there's a shocking number of control mirrors right now. But that's because aggro's bad right now. So hopefully,
so what do you think the other players on your team are?
um,
Let's start with Earth Power.
I think he's more of a Johnny. I guess like he definitely plays to win. I think everyone on my team plays to win to an extent. Like we're all super excited about the competitive scene and everything.
Yeah.
But Carl has this sort of his area of expertise, which is like aggro decks and rush decks. Like at Continentals, so 2006, we didn't run Bombazar because we didn't test it at all. We didn't know about it, and we were dumb for that. But like you know, me, Spencer, and Gorby didn't play, but me, Spencer, Sean, and all them ran control, and we thought it was like a standard control, so we ran with that. And Carl just ran rush, and it was a weird rush too, just because he loves that sort of aggressive play style. So
Yeah.
I think he'll always play that. Like he'll play control in matches and stuff, but as far as like it goes for like an actual event, he'll probably always stick to some sort of aggro deck and try to be innovative with that.
For
And he's
sure.
really, yeah, you've seen his old Duel Masters decks, so that's
Yeah.
what kind of he is.
So Gorby.
Um, well, he's gotten a lot better. I think kind of what about Spike and Johnny again? Like, you know,
Johnny.
he reminds me of me because like he just started like a year ago, and he was honestly pretty bad at the game. But he came from Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a great place to start, and he knew all about card advantage and playing smart and all that. So all he had to do was like learn the ropes in DM, played some pretty standard aggro decks, and now he translates what he knows to like aggro decks in Kaijudo. He loves thinking of new things to do, and he's learning how to play control and stuff. But it's not really his thing. Like he's also like Carl. He likes aggro more.
All right. And Swan.
And Spencer, I like a little bit of both. Like he definitely because he doesn't get a chance to play a whole lot.
Yeah.
He's in college right now, but he'll definitely make it out to like whatever events he can make it out to, and he'll play to the best he can. And he's pretty competitive when it comes down to it, I guess. And he prefers like control. He'll probably run whatever he thinks. Well, he's not going to be because he doesn't have, I guess, as much time to test maybe in the future. I'm just gonna
All right.
think ahead and think about that. So he'll probably, if he knows something works, he's gonna run it, and he's not gonna change things if it might not pan out well. Because people have said it before. You don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Yes. Exactly.
If you have like a new gun and it works better than the other guns, then go ahead. But if you haven't developed your gun enough and it's either a knife or a gun, just pick the gun.
Yes.
If there's stakes on, if you might get shot, pick the gun. So yeah, good analogy.
It is. It's an awesome analogy, actually. So you mentioned your mistakes in the present battle we just played before this video. Do you feel like, besides those mistakes, like, do you make other common mistakes while you play?
um, not like the thing is, like I hate to discredit the loss because I lost, and
Yeah.
but game two is just I just lost that, so
Yeah.
but game three, I actually when you said put down Draglide, I thought you meant you played it in mana. Looking at the screen, and like I had a handful of removal, so I just kept the one blocker out, and like I played a Seneschal instead of doing other things, and you could have top decked the speed attacker, and you did, and I lost, so I was like shit. He has video proof, people. Like I revealed my hand, I had answers. Did not look at the screen. So Skype dueling
And
problems.
what happened there? I just want to put this out there. I set up normally, and it still is distracting to you.
I wasn't looking at the screen. Every day I was looking at the screen. Shit. It's like playing a blind guy. Yeah, I think it's my payback because Corey made a Skype mistake versus me, and Gorby made a Skype mistake versus Corey. This Skype is. I prefer playing in real life, people.
Yeah.
But in general, like I think the playing I have pretty much down. It's the little things, and it's more like it doesn't matter in fun games, but like if I go to an event, it's the little things to me. Like it's like the next level playing sort of thing. Like no body language whatsoever. Like don't let your opponent make reads on you. Don't you dare sigh when you draw your card.
Yeah.
It's like those little things. They're really
Keep
bad.
your poker face.
Yeah, like even I make mistakes. Like I usually shuffle my hand when I'm like excited and stuff, and I'm trying to get to the point where even if my hand is garbage, I'll still look like my hand is good.
Yes.
It's important to like get that presence. Like you always, even if you're completely not on top of things, you want to look like you're on top of things because it's intimidating to an effect. And if I see my opponent do it and stuff like that, and looking on top of things, I might make a misplay. I might get nervous and stuff. So
That's
yeah,
what's
so
up.
it's like the mental game that I'm working on.
All right. So, what's your hope for this game?
I hope it gets big, and it looks like I was super excited when Wizards announced everything they've been announcing because it's pretty much the best case scenario so far.
Yeah, it's actually been going really well. I mean, people agree, I'm pretty sure, but like the channels up, everything, we're growing so quick. I mean, it's amazing for a game that's not even had base set out yet.
Yeah, I think all the channels actually really do help for the community too. But like in general, just the way Wizards has been running it is
Yeah.
really good. Like they did the battle decks better than I expected. They did the dojo set, more reprints than I would have liked, but I understand why they did it, and it was
Yeah.
better than I expected. Then I was like, oh god, if they reprint everything, it's gonna have to be a big set, bigger than they usually do.
Yeah.
And they announced it, and it was bigger than it usually is, better than I expected.
Well, the core set in Duel Masters was about the same size because you had 15.
It
You
was
had
only
12.
120 cards.
There's only 120, but there was
Yeah.
still 12 supers in there.
Nope, only 10.
Only 10. That's still
Yep.
a lot though, as
Yeah,
opposed to
it's
like the standard 6 that was released in like Evo in their
yeah, it's
evolution
bigger than
set.
the usual sets. I mean, it had to be bigger than the old core set. Like it's 1/3. It's 33% bigger than the one in Duel Masters, which is about right considering they're having to reprint like 90 cards or 80 cards in the core set. And then they announced Evo Fury is coming out in November, and I was like, okay, I didn't expect Evos this early. I'm glad they're doing that again because it was like a great mechanic, one of the best things about the game, better than I expected.
And it
And
balanced out
Pro,
fast attack.
yeah, yeah, and then Ultra Pro being, doing some things, coming out with Evo Fury, that's pretty awesome. Like, just so many good things for the game. And the league is starting up. Carl's running league at our store every Sunday. Comic
Awesome.
Kings, Virginia Beach, 1 p.m.
It's nice to hear. You guys didn't announce that.
Oh, we're going to. He's making an update video in a couple days.
All right, sounds good. So why do you think this game, like, do you think this game will have more success than Duel Masters? Like,
Yeah,
just judging off it?
yeah, for
What,
sure.
what, what do you think they did, like, so different that made this game, like, just skyrocket as compared to Duel Masters?
Well, I don't know. Well, I guess you can say it's skyrocketed, but I guess part of it's the time frame. Like now we have social media.
Yeah.
Now all the kids who play Duel Masters are our age, like 19 to 22. And I'm putting your age out there like that, but
It doesn't
sorry.
bother me.
But like everyone is like now we're all part of like the quote unquote competitive scene. Like we're all the guys who are growing up. Plus you got all the new people like us, like all of our friends are getting into it, and then of course the new crowd of kids that are getting into it because of the show. And the show is so much better than it used to be. Like I was 11 when I saw an episode, and I promise you, if I had seen the show before I saw the cards and met Carl, I would never have played Duel Masters. That's how much I did not enjoy the experience of watching that show.
That show was boring.
Yeah, but now like the show, I'm 19 now, and I'm kind of mad that I missed the last couple episodes because I like the show. Like I want to know what happened.
Always go on the Hub channel. They're always there, man.
I don't have the hub.
No, no, not you. Go online.
Oh,
There.
I know. I've been slacking off. I still need to watch the third season of Archer too, or he's gonna kill me.
It was such a good episode. This last one. We'll be doing those reviews soon. I haven't. My person that's gonna be with me doing that is gonna be doing that this Sunday, so we'll probably have that up Monday, maybe. I'm not sure yet.
Also, the card design. Like, I can firmly go up to someone and say, it's like Duel Masters but balanced out. Because everyone knows Duel Masters had problem cards.
Yes,
Like, especially Bombazar. I don't even want to talk about that.
Kirill
Uh,
was one too.
Kirill Hulkus wasn't like it wasn't broken.
Yeah,
It was still like a staple card. Like, it was too much of a staple. Yeah, like, yeah.
it really was.
Logo scan just does not compare to Hulkus, but it's still really
That 2000
it's too
little
good.
thing right there.
It's too
Um,
versatile.
so, do you believe, like truly believe that one card, if you put it in a deck, can make or break that deck?
Um, like one copy of one card.
Well, even like three copies of it. Just that card can make or break that deck. Like you put it in and it makes the deck so consistent. It's like just like world championship wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, can that one card make that much of a difference in a deck?
Um, I think it's more of a combination of everything, but like every card does make a difference, and some more than others.
Yeah.
Like if I was up against, let's say I ran Water Dark Control and Duel Masters, right?
Yeah.
For anyone who gets the reference, Crystal Paladin returns all blockers. Let's say I was running it without Crystal Paladin, just some Lancers. But then I go to an Invitational, and I'm like, okay, Diamond Cutter is going to be really popular. I should run two Paladin. So I put in two Paladin, and I win 2 to 3 matches that I wouldn't have won without it. So like that's only one card choice, but it can like every card choice can decide matchups, and it's always a question of if I add this, how much is it going to be useful to me? What am I trying to stop with this card? And then is it effective in stopping what I'm trying to stop? And then is there going to be enough of what I'm trying to stop that it's going to be worth it to play X amount of copies? So yeah, I mean if there's a card that like if there's a strategy that gives your deck a problem, you should check against it if the deck is solid besides that. So, yeah, I'd say one card can make or break, not the entire deck, but it can definitely win you matches that you wouldn't win, and that can lead to topping an event or winning an event that you wouldn't, you know.
All
Uh,
right, for sure. So, you have the water, fire, darkness deck, the control deck, and you put it online. I don't know. People have seen you play with it over and over. Um, and you have
yeah,
a profile of the deck online, right?
yeah,
Would
from
you
a while
ever
ago.
would you ever go to a tournament with a deck that you profiled online?
Yeah, I mean, I can probably say that I will only go to tournaments with decks that I profiled. Maybe I'll profile them after sometimes, but like I really don't care. Like people know how I play. People generally know what's good, and I feel like people are gonna add their own spin to the decks and anything. Like if I don't post the deck that I'm gonna run, someone else is gonna run it. Like there's only so many options. So I'm sure someone else is gonna come up with something similar anyway. And if they prepare for it, then I can still rely on my playing skills. And no one's just gonna tech against only me. like
Yeah, yeah. Well, we understand that, but
yeah,
I mean, it's still like, okay, you put this deck online or something, and you guys are at 471 subscribers, I think, right now. And
480
480.
times.
So,
500 soon. Come on, people, subscribe.
and you guys have this like big like fan base, basically, is what that says. So like, I don't know, like if there was a whole bunch of people trying and they might be able to use your deck better than you can. You never know, like they look
yeah.
at it and then they like tech it a different way and made it a little bit tweaky. They tweaked it their way and it just like ran better. And
I mean,
that's another thing.
that's just the risk you got to run, though. Like, chances are, if they're copying the deck from me and then tweaking it, I might have a more solid grasp on how it works. But there's always people who can play really well, and it's just like the matter of situation. Like, you can be a great player and still make mistakes. I make mistakes. I consider myself to be a pretty good player, and I've seen really good players make mistakes, and it just happens. So it's all in a situation. Just being as solid as you can is important, and I'm probably going to write articles, so they're probably going to see what I'm going to run. Unless I'm going to change it around, but
So
yeah, I don't
do
have a
you
problem with
believe
that.
like do you believe that everybody needs to have their own type of deck? Like if someone took your deck strictly out and then tried to play it against you, don't you think you'd have the upper hand considering you made the deck? and like you just like support different play styles. If you put your own kind of like you twist to the deck, it will probably run better than just like copying a deck straight up offline. You understand what I'm saying? Like, do you
Yeah.
think these decks need that personality in them to make them run?
Like if someone sees a deck, let's say I do well in an event and my deck goes online or whatever, and
Yeah.
someone sees it and they're like, "Wow, this is really good. I'm going to test it." First, I'm going to test it card for card because just to get a feel for it. Like I'd probably do that. Like I've card for card tested decks before, and sometimes I've liked them, and a lot of the times I change one or two things. I don't feel the compulsive need to change just to change. Like if hypothetically it works fine for me, it works fine. But if I figure out something I need to change, then I'll just give it a shot. I did play a bunch of Water Dark Fire Mirror matches with a very similar deck. I did well in all of them. Then we switched decks, and I still did well because I know how the deck works, and I usually rely on just being able to play control well. But like I make card choices that other people just might not like,
Yeah.
and make card choices that I don't like. So it doesn't. A lot of times, it doesn't make a huge difference, but for the player, it does. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I was getting to. And so, how do you feel about Hydrospy?
Well, it started out really well. I still love the idea of it because I think Aqua Hulkus was the best card in Duel Masters by far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't care about 4 mana at all. I just have lost too many games. I've lost like 2 games because of the power, and that's too many. Like I shouldn't be losing games because Hydro Spy is too small.
Yeah.
That is something so minute that okay, Hydro Spy, you're not this important. I'm sorry, you're losing me games at this point. You're going out. Yeah, one day I decided I was bored with my deck because I've been playing it exclusively for like a month. So I put in Seneschals and a Bat Breath just to test them out, and they worked a lot better. Like I could just go aggressive like randomly, and it was awesome. And the power makes a huge difference. You can just hit over things and ram with things and get the plus. So yeah, I think Hydro Spy still has a place in
Yeah.
like some aggro decks, and maybe if someone develops something with Cyberlords in like another set or two or whatever, we get the engine and stuff. But as for a standard control deck now, I think there are better options, and they're going to continue to be better options. Now we have Crystal Memory.
Yes.
Excuse me, I didn't see. That card is. There's no reason not to run it.
There is
You
no
don't get the
reason.
body at all, but the body from Hydro Spy doesn't really do anything right now because you're not attacking shields early with control, and you can't kill anything with it. So Crystal Memory, you still don't show your opponent the card, and you just get whatever. It's mind games. It's great.
It is.
So yeah, I don't like Hydro Spy in control right now, but I guess there's places for it. But probably in decks that I don't want to play, so probably done with the card for a while.
All right. So
Sorry, Paul Clark. Your name must up now.
recently in the stream,
What? Okay.
you guys were talking.
Oh, you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the stream. Why wouldn't
Were
I?
you, were you online during this one?
No. I
Okay.
wish I would have been able to. That would
Yeah.
have been awesome. Sorry, I missed that, by the way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
But so I watched the stream, and you guys were talking about Rush, and you guys said it might die. It might die because of Barrage. And now me and you were just talking about cards that got released. One of the biggest Rush races, we could call them, would be Drakon. And they got that boost from that Drakon that gives them plus 2,000 power, like right off the bat. So do you think Rush is still viable now?
Mm. Hmm.
Because that outplays Essence Elf now in a
It
Rush.
kinda does. What Dracon? Alright, so Draglight's not a Dracon, but Gilliflame's a Dracon, and Gilliflame, of course, at like 7,000 is really good. Um, it makes Dracon Weaponsmith dodge Barrage. Are there any other good Dracons that I'm forgetting right
Well,
now?
you use Weaponsmith, you use Super Bazooka, Volcanodon.
Yeah, it's okay.
So you have just like those 3 early ones, and I mean that's all you really need. That's what you'll run in Rush. I don't think you'll run any more than that in Red. Like,
I think it could be viable. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I do.
you'll run the fast attackers. So
Part
like,
of it says since you need so many, like you need at least 2 or 3 of the Dracons for it to be super effective on the field. Otherwise, I can just barrage 1 out of 2 of your field. So that wouldn't be great. But like since you need more than one of them on the field, like you could run Fire Water Withdraw, but that might slow the deck down a little bit because I'm not a huge fan of Aqua Soldier, and it doesn't really have many other attackers. You could probably Fire Nature could be a viable thing, but Nature doesn't have any 1 drops yet, so that's that. Fire Light could be a thing just because of the new Magris is like a Tulk, which is
yeah.
cool. It requires testing that I'm not going to do because I don't run Rush. But
Fire,
sure, I'll get
fire
Carl's.
water, you know. You just
Huh?
saw me run it. My fire water deck, you just saw me
Did
run, you know.
you? Yeah, yeah.
And that was total rush, and it's a total twist on rush. What people are used to the meta game of what like fire nature in duel masters.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of Rush. Like, I don't know if I can. It's so weird for me to call something with so much draw a Rush deck because you do run Seneschal, Hydra Spy, Logo Scan.
Yes.
Yeah, so like the idea of that is that you're covering your bases because you know you're not going to win on turn 4. Like, there's no way to win on turn 4 unless they literally play nothing.
Yeah.
So like the idea is that you're more stable late game than a Fire Nature deck because you can draw into ways to win.
Yeah.
So it's kind of rushy. I feel like a deck like that could be good.
So okay,
Maybe it's
so
worth testing. Maybe it's worth testing to do like just not even a rush deck, but like a fire, water, light aggro deck with like all the Dracons and stuff. Because it makes Gilliflame huge.
huge. Turn
Yeah,
4 7,000
absolutely.
drop.
And like if you add that to a deck like Spencer's with like the Shockanals and stuff, an aggro deck like that could be cool.
Yeah.
And then you could, there's so many cool things you can do with aggro now. And a
Just,
lot of
I
the moves
just
to
think that
barrage.
totally negates the whole like barrage thing because when you barrage that, all you're gonna do is get that card.
Generally, I mean, if they have other things that are small, like a Shockanal or a Seneschal on the field, like they're still hit too. And I'd be fine with barraging 2 things if the situation calls for it.
Yeah.
Like the idea of barrage is that it wouldn't win you single-handedly a game versus rush,
I know, but it
but
buys
that
you
it would
time.
cause a lot of damage. Yeah.
It buys you time, what you need against rush. Like if it because it's a shield blast, it totally buys you time, and that's that total anti-rush shield blast. Like in
Yeah, like the rushes you're talking about and the aggros we're talking about,
yeah.
they're not like turn 6. I was still alive. Even the games I lost pretty bad. Like I could have barraged if I had a barrage, and it would have
Yeah,
been good.
you could have barrage, yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point, I would probably at turn 6 still have my Dracon thing going, you know?
Yeah.
So, and like my field is full of Dracons, and it's just like, it's a total twist on things because it was an unexpected card that just made Rush a little bit more viable because of Barrage.
In spite of barrage.
Yes, in spite of
Yeah.
Barrage. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. So, you feel like,
Requires testing. I really don't like rush as a strategy in general, like full on rush, because I feel like I don't like decks that if you don't lose by if you don't win by a certain time, you generally lose. I don't like feeling like that. I like always being in the game per se. Yeah, and when I play rush, I just draw bad. It just happens. Like I don't play rush bad. Like I know what I'm doing. I just the gods of Kaijudo do not want me to play an aggressive deck. So I don't. I let Gorby and Spencer and Carl do that. Spencer plays control mostly too, though. So.
all right. So, one of my things before we leave is everybody knows you've been playing and you're competitive. What's your advice you would give to people playing the game?
Uh, don't take it too seriously. I mean, I guess like take it seriously to the point where like don't discredit your losses and say, oh, it doesn't matter, it's just a game. Like try to learn from it. Like definitely, yeah, keep learning no matter what. Every win and loss is a learning experience. Watch people who have experience play. I watch people who have experience play. I love it. So I get better with that. But don't like take it too hard when you lose because you get out of the zone and you just start losing more and you overthink things. If you lost, you're like, oh, I need to fix things in my deck, or I need to play so much better. Sometimes you just lose. So it's still a luck-based game. Don't take it too seriously, but always be learning and watching and being active and stuff. Practice, I guess.
One of
Yeah.
the things I learned from you just last night
Right.
is just wait. Sometimes you just gotta wait.
Oh yeah.
Take that turn.
Don't be afraid to pass. If you're in rush, you probably should not pass turns.
Yeah.
But like if you're playing a control deck, like just for the control players out there, like play super conservatively. And always ask yourself, is there a serious reason that I need to play this card right now? Is this going to really benefit me in the long run? Do I need to Bone Blade this Fumes? Chances are you do not need to ever Bone Blade a Fumes. I love it when people Bone Blade about Fumes. I'm like, I'm winning this match. It's funny.
This was an example from a match you played recently with Kaijudo channel.
No. Did he do that?
Yeah, that's what you told me.
Cordero did that too to me. Cordero did it. Happened a couple times in real life. Just stop doing it, people. You
Yeah.
you lost those matches.
Bone Blades is better wasted on things like Scare Adorable.
Yeah, like good things. Like, are you being threatened right now?
Yeah.
like, he bone blade. Like, I got a Fumes bone blade, and the next turn I dropped a Seneschal. I'm like, I bet you wish you would save that bone blade.
It really does. It sets the tone.
I
So,
don't remember who did that. It happened though. But yeah.
all right. Well, we'll leave them at that. Again, this was
Hold
CVH.
on. Shout out. Gotta give a shout out. I am well. Shout out to Earth Power, obviously. Subscribe. Team
Yeah.
Peach, all that. Hold on. Let me move that stuff. I am about to write articles. I hope that's like not mirrored in your Skype, but
No, no,
also
it's good. It's good.
okay. AlterRealityGames.com. I was just hired as their first article writer, and I am 1,500 words deep into my first article, just like discussing the base set that's coming out, and hopefully I'll be doing weekly stuff.
And
Super
where
cool.
will you be posting those on their channel? I mean, on their website.
Yeah.
So, guys, you should probably check that out. Totally support him. He's doing something new for all of us in the Kaijudo community. That would be awesome.
The dude is in charge of Alter Reality. He's like super cool with Kaijudo. Like he supports Yu-Gi-Oh to the fullest. He pays for people to go to events and represent his site, and it represents Yu-Gi-Oh in a way too. And they write great articles, and hopefully I can join that to the Kaijudo scene.
All right.
So I don't know when you're posting this. Hopefully it'll be up by like Friday. When it
It
says
will be up
the article should be up.
probably tonight.
Okay, well, don't check tonight because I'm not done the article yet, and don't check tomorrow because they won't have checked it yet.
Yeah.
Like hopefully Thursday or Friday it'll be up sometime, which is awesome.
All right. So
They
that was
love Kaijudo. We love them. Sorry.
and this is Denver Kaijudo, and that was another special interview that we finally got with an actual person writing articles for ARG.
Indeed.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. All right. Bye.
YouTube.
You're fine.
I gotta say it.
Yeah, you do. You do.